All right, I'm on 2 hours sleep. I'm feeling a little temperamental, and I have a tale. Not a puppy dog tale, but a tale to tell. So let's get into it. So the closest thing that I have to a social life these days, as a happily married father of two, is that once or twice a week I host auctions on the Whatnot app. And the stuff I sell is used VHS tapes. I take great joy in thrifting and going out and the thrill of the hunt, really. I have since I was a teenager, and now I'm at the big 3-0, knocking on death's door practically. And anyway, it was kind of strange. I was kind of, nudged into doing it. The idea of streaming and speaking aloud on the internet really isn't my forte. In fact, this whole talking to the camera thing is a little unnatural to me, so forgive me if there's a little bit of a blockade between us. But in any event, I was pleasantly surprised right from the get-go because it's just such a wonderful community of movie lovers who enjoy talking shop, who give you their thoughts and they want to hear yours, and it's very entertaining. Like I said, I was pleasantly surprised. It was delightful. But despite the couple hundred people that I've become acquainted with, there's always that one proverbial turd in the punch bowl. The one guy where you see his username pop up in the chat and you can't help but grit your teeth and go, just leave, just get out. The type of guy that would come in and you would be asking a certain price. You would have, let's say, a tape of Peter Fonda's Race with the Devil, and you'd be asking $15 for it. A fair, just price. And he would come in and he would say, hey, can you do $3? That type of guy. A time waster, really. A few streams go by, he's nowhere in the chat, and then lo and behold, he appears again. His username right there on the screen. And I do the whole teeth gritting routine, counting down the seconds until he finally decides to go away. And shockingly, and I mean shockingly, so I was so shocked, I actually had to elevate my feet, press a cold compress to my head, because I was so bewildered by this. He decided to become a big spender, and spent close to $60 whole in the shop. So I bubble wrap his order. Like a good seller, I cloak his order in sheath after sheath of bubble wrap, and I ship it out to him via media mail. Now, before his order had even left my home state of California, he was already flooding my inbox with request after request as to why he deserved a partial refund. The reasons ranged from emergency surgery to, well, I was scanning eBay sold items and I feel like you may have gouged me. They sold for a few bucks less, so of course I deserve half my money back. Now, my customer service face is already a thin thread of patience. And needless to say, that thread ripped right then and there. I told him, dude, a deal's a deal. All right, we set a price. You paid it. I shipped it. That ends the story of you and I. We are donezo. D-U-N-zo, bro. Okay, it's over. And he went radio silent. I didn't hear from him for a week and then 2 weeks. There was no feedback left, so I figured, okay, he may be unhappy, but at least he's not that unhappy. And I'm sure there are some sellers out there that would spank my ass and that would slap my hand and say, no, tisk, tisk, my little friend, because that is how you create a customer that never returns. Well, thank Christ, I was glad to see him go. This dude was a headache and a half, and I was glad to be rid of it. But don't get ahead of yourself, you stupid little innocent. Don't let your naivete get in the way of the cold, hard reality that is online selling. This is, of course, me speaking to myself, not talking to you. Don't mistake it for that. Now, why was I so foolish to assume the worst was over? Well, because today I received a package. Not just any package, but a package with a letter. Not just any letter, but a hate-filled letter. And I got about halfway through of reading it before a little bulb in my head began to shine bright, and I thought, what better way to introduce myself to the good folks over at YouTube other than to read line by line the psychotic ramblings of a triggered customer on Whatnot. But before we delve any further, let's be sure to cue the theme song in 3, 2... Well, look at that. Wasn't that something? A song so nice, we'd all like to hear it twice. Let's go again. Yeah, I'm just kidding. But thank you to my good buddy Planet CHH for recording that for me. It was really something. It really came through in a pinch, my boy. I appreciate you, as the day is long. So, yeah, let's get to this letter from an angry customer. A triggered customer, shall we say. Just to start things off, look at that font, brother. That is the tiniest, most psychotic... If this doesn't say Mark David Chapman, I've read Catcher in the Rye 5,000 times, I don't know what does. This is just insanity, and thank God that I just happened to open up a P.O. box. I'm so grateful that this went there and not here. Anyway, let's continue. Dear Mom and Pop's Video Shop, putting together this letter is the most difficult thing I've had to do in quite some time. I made several attempts to write this by hand, but unfortunately when I'm anxious, which is most of the time if not always, my fingers become jitterier and jitterier. My fingers become jitterier and jitterier, especially with each passing word, disrupting and disturbing my penmanship to the point of becoming illegible. Yes, I'm a bit of a worrywart, always have been. Ugh! Dude, I swear to God, this aw shucks veneer, it spills from the page, dude. This little, I just don't know any better. I'm a little bit of a worrywart, always have been. It's so annoying to even look at. Let's relive that misery again, shall we? Yes, I'm a bit of a worrywart, always have been. See, you can't even help but shrug, like a little know-nothing. It just feels so stupid reading it. Always have been. I just always have been. Yes, I'm a bit of a worrywart, always have been, and I suppose my nerves tend to get the best of me. So I figured the best course of action would be to type this out so that my chaotic calligraphy wouldn't give you an excuse to ridicule me. Trust me, I have plenty of reasons to ridicule you. It'll come quite easy. I discovered you a few months back, and I must say that I began by enjoying your candid banter during your streams. Though I must admit there were stirrings of trouble on the rise right from the start. What does that mean? You enjoyed it? I just have to digest this, dude, because it's very stupid. I discovered you a few months back, and I must say that I began by enjoying your candid banter during the streams. So you began by enjoying it, but right from the start there was trouble. How the hell does that make any sense? It's just, it transcends stupidity. I don't know what to tell you, partner. For instance, in one of your auctions, you began the show by playing a song by a band called REO Speedwagon, titled Roll with the Changes. Yeah, it's a great song, that's why I play it. I tried my darndest to maintain my patience before eventually having no choice but to voice my dislike for that particular tune because I do not particularly agree with its meaning, nor do I like its melody. First off, don't use particular twice in one sentence. Quite frankly, I find it annoying. Always have. Again, there's that little aw shucks persona you're trying to build up. Always have. Pains me to read this. My stepfather used to... Okay, there we go. You're angry with someone else, not me. I don't even have to look at any more of this. You're angry with stepdad. You're not angry with me. I guarantee it. I guarantee there's issues with your stepfather here. Let's see. My stepfather used to play it constantly on road trips, and it's a reminder of our bad times as a family. Granted, you didn't know that, but... You mean granted, stupid. That's what you mean. Granted, you didn't know that. But still. Oh, God. You even whine on the page, dude. I cannot imagine what you sound like in real life. I'm so glad I've never taken a phone call from you. Anyway, when I politely requested that you please turn it off, all you did was read my comment aloud, scoffed your indifference, played the song back from the beginning at a higher volume than before, and even went as far as to sing along not only to the vocals, but to the lead guitar solo as well. Yes, I did. To annoy you. After that, I can honestly say that I hate the song almost as much as I hate you. Well, gee, thanks. You talk and talk and talk, and that's all you seem to want to do. Even worse, your viewers seem to encourage it. My blood truly boils each time one of them is stupid enough to ask you to elaborate further. Why? because I know that I'm in store for only more and more of your vomitous verbal nonsense. Dude, you don't have to be in the auction. You don't have to watch it. All right, this isn't required viewing. You can turn it off. It's easy peasy Japanesey. Whatnot isn't a podcast. You are not the host of a talk radio show. Shut your freak frock mouth. What the hell's freak frock? Shut your freak frock mouth and just sell your dumb tapes. Don't waste your breath trying to entertain. While it may work for others, it sure doesn't work for you. Another thing you did that I find offensive was ban me from the stream after my payment method failed 3 times in a row. Guilty as charged. Yes, I understand that you were perhaps tired of relisting the item for me, but to tell everyone watching that I was being sent to timeout for the remainder of the show was a line that did not need crossing. Alright. What made it worse was that people in the chat seemed genuinely amused, which soon led to you making up a scenario of me being thrown out of the shop via police escort. You said I was probably the type to refuse to comply, which would hopefully get me maced and tased. You're bringing up some good points. I did say that, but you're not giving the whole scenario. Your payment method kept falling through. And when it fell through the 3rd time, you asked that I send the tapes and that you pay me next week. You were very wimpy about it. And yeah, I made up a scenario. Oh, well, you're annoying me. I'll have you know that in the past I have been maced and tased. It was a safe assumption. You seem the type. It is no picnic, ... and it is nothing to joke about. Since then, I haven't had the courage to comment publicly on anything. Not on Reddit, not on TikTok, not on whatnot, not on anything. I am now what they call a lurker, not that I want to be. It's people like you that make the internet an unsafe place. Dude, you're such a wet princess. Okay, that's not the P word I wanted to use, but I'm going to use a lengthier one. A more appropriate one that everyone can say. You are a wet princess. You cannot complain so much, dude. It's insane. I remember kids in school like you. Not that I was a bully or anything. In fact, I was loser extreme. If I weren't so hyper obese in my teenage days, I would have been invisible. But the whiners, man. The people that can't shut their yaps. Dear God, dude. See, it's people like you that make the internet an unsafe place. People like you is exactly what prevents the world we live in from progressing into something better. Oh boy. And for what? For a laugh? Is that really worth the cost of hurting a stranger's feelings? Where are we going with this? You claim to have read a fair amount of books, but to me, you seem illiterate to literature. Oh. The only troubling thing about receiving this letter is that you had the unfounded confidence to send it priority mail. That blows my mind. Seeing the words illiterate to literature. Remember the kid that thought they were smart? The kid in 8th grade that would pontificate and go on, but all of his words just didn't quite match up. He thought they were matching up, and then when people couldn't understand what the hell he was talking about, he took that as being smarter than them. That's what I'm getting from this. You seem illiterate to literature, just a big freak frock fake. What the hell's freak frock? What are you... That's the 2nd time you've said that. Just a big freak frock fake. Is that a substitute for the F word? Is freak frock... Is that what we're saying? Oh, God. I bet you don't even watch all the movies you own. You just like having things on the shelf as a way to feed your sense of superiority. In what world do VHS tapes and Laserdiscs make me superior to anyone? In what society am I stepping into where people are going, ho, 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 look at the upper echelon. Look at all this. Look at all the tapage. Dude, you make no sense. I pay like quarters for this, dude. I think the most I've ever paid for a tape in my life is like $5. So I don't know where you're getting this from. People like me who can't afford to just buy anything at any time. Okay, this is all making sense. This is a class issue. Except you think I'm in a higher class than I am. It's retarded. People like me who can't afford to just buy anything at any time truly love what little we have. It means so much to us, yet so little to you. How sad to be you and not me, that is. Again, man, your insults, your digs, they come up empty. They're missing a little oomph, but still, kudos for trying. Also, I think you lie about your yard sale finds. When I go to yard sales, I never find tapes, but when you go to yard sales, all there seems to be are tapes. Yeah, right. And don't get me started on the CRT televisions. You say you find these TVs out in the wild, on curbs and at thrift stores, etc. Tell me, are they to the left or to the right of the dinosaur fossils? Not even going to say anything. I'm not even going to say anything. Oh yeah, you've never randomly found any of those either. You are a sellout and you are a liar, and I wish you nothing but the worst. Have your tapes back. I was originally excited to receive them, but knowing that they came from you has ruined all my enjoyment and enthusiasm. Oh, and no, I do not want a refund. Why? Because I have my pride. Money doesn't mean everything. P.S. Have you ever heard of a Gillette razor? Yes, I have. Why don't you go thrift yourself one of those and cut that ugly and unkempt mustache of yours off your freak frock face? Beat you to it, stupid. I shaved my mustache 2 days ago. Ha ha! That's probably the best thing you said in all this. I'm sure your supposed wife would appreciate it. Oh yeah, ... And then this next part is in all caps. You don't have a wife. Yes, I do. Good riddance. Neither an enemy nor a friend. There's more to it. I don't know why. Oh. Is this a joke? Alright, he sent 3 copies of the same letter. I thought I had a 3-page letter ahead of me, but no, it's 3 copies of the exact same thing. I think. Yeah. Yeah, I see freak frock on each one. Now, I do want to wrap this up because, I don't know, my guess is that we're approaching 20 minutes, 21 minutes, something like that. And that's a lot of time to ask of you as a viewer. But if you made it all the way through this, I sure do appreciate you. I do like hanging out with you. But before we call it quits, I want to circle back to the whole freak frock phrase. There's something very deep-seated about that. I know for a fact the gentleman who wrote this is older than I am. And as I said, I'm 30. So the fact that you are angry with me, but you still choose not to use a curse word, you substitute it with freak frock, I do think, and given the whole stepfather thing, there's probably some sort of correlation. My guess is that he found you one day carving the F-bomb into a tree, or maybe you had sketched it into your notebook. Who knows? Maybe you put his name. Let's say his name was Dale. You put F. Dale. And I'm going to guess that he beat your ass. He gave you the ass beating of your life. And maybe demanded that you never use that word again. You held true to that promise, that tearful promise you made to him way back when, and replaced that mother of all mothers with freak frock, which I will say from now on until the day I die. What else is there to cover? I agree that Whatnot is not a podcast. I agree that Whatnot is not a talk radio show. But I'm free to say whatever I want. I'm hosting an auction. I'm not going to host it in a way where I'm going $1, $2, $3, $4. I'm not doing that shit, dude. My Whatnot is just a hangout. It's like this. It's very sedated. It's a couple drinks in. So I have no reason to be shilling like that, to be shucking and jiving. It ain't my bag, partner. And like I said, you don't have to be there. It's fine. Coincidentally, you voice your distrust of my VHS finds and my CRT TV finds. And let me tell you, dude, this week, the VHS gods, the analog gods, have been good to me. They've been shining down on me. I have found the best stuff possible. I have found just the greatest of the great, man. So I look forward to sharing that with you. I hope you see this video. I really hope you do. I know you made a pledge against my Whatnot, but I hope this finds you somehow. Oh, real quick, before I forget, at the end of the letter, you said, I don't want the tapes back. I don't want my money back. Here you go. No refund necessary. Well, guess what, stupid? You would never get a refund because you ordered Friday the 13th Part 2 and Friday the 13th Part 3. This does not look like Friday the 13th Part 2. And this does not look like Friday the 13th Part 3. So, I don't know how mentally ill you are, or what the joke is. I don't know if there's a deeper meaning to this, if you're, calling me the boy who wouldn't grow up, or if you're calling me a blind musician, who knows what. But why would I ever give you a refund for sending me shit that I never sent you? It's absurd. Anyway, I hope you found that entertaining. I hope it was a decent way to kill 20 or so minutes. And thanks for listening to me ramble. That was the tale of how I triggered a customer on Whatnot. So if you plan on selling on there, expect to have a great time, but also expect to encounter some crazies along the way. My name's Todd, and I hope you have a great freak frockin' night.